some good old Phoenix Wright. We're at the last case, or the last few bits of the last case, so we're gonna finish up today. I don't think it'll take more than a couple hours, hopefully, so we're just gonna go through it. And the sooner we get that done, the better, right? I think there's like something for everybody, for sure, no doubt. I mean, unless you were expecting some sort of like, well, no, it's not true. I mean, I'm sure people are anticipating like Smash Bros on the Switch 2, like as a launch title or some sort of announcement on that. But who knows, right? So we'll just jump over to Justice for All. We're gonna wrap this game up. We are at the last part of the second day investigations, if I recall. And after that, just a trial. I think the trial's either 2 or 3 parts, but let's run it, see how far we... I mean, no, we'll see how far we get. We're gonna finish it today, no doubt. Hopefully it won't take more than like maybe 3 hours max, hopefully, but let's see. We'll see where we end up here. So last time we left off, I mean, in this case, Maya was kidnapped, and the kidnapper wants a acquittal for the client we're defending, heavily implying that somehow the client we're defending is somewhat responsible. A lot of signs are pointing towards it. Actually, no, it's more or less confirmed, unofficially, because, you know, we did end up going to the house where Maya was being held hostage in, our client's house. So that kind of, like, you know, put 2 and 2 together, that kind of, you know, that kind of like cements that fact, right? Just that Phoenix can't, I think either he doesn't fully know or he just refuses to believe because, you know, of his beliefs as a lawyer. And on top of that, also making sure that Maya's okay, but let's do it. So the real person who killed Mr. Corrido was that assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right? And the card Miss Andrews found at the scene of the crime seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who is his client? You mean, who asked for the murder? That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Yep, you're just as responsible. Or so the saying goes, you know, you're free to believe what you want. Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews? I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself? Yep. But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be. Matt Ungard himself? If Mr. Ungard really did hire the assassin, then he is not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime. But it can't be Mr. Ungard, right? I mean, when we first talked with him... Mr. Ungard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Corrido? Yeah, he said no. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Corrido. So he definitely doesn't feel responsible for it. Even though he's the one who hired the hit, or who called the hit, right? Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. So what is this interesting thing? Oh, that's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Gemin Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had a secret in his hands, a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What's the secret though? I don't know if do we ever know that? I think we might have. Or I think it does get revealed as we go along here, but we'll find out. Well, what is the secret? I don't know yet. But for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Corrido was going to reveal his secret. That means Mr. Ungard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Corrido silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. Ungard. There's no way around it now. Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's past 9 PM already, but we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of the secret Mr. Kurita held about Mr. On Guard. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight. What are visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. She's still here. Wait, hey, wait. What is a whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Like just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. But the request came from Edgypoo, so... Edgeworth? And he said... If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you. Gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. This is absolutely top secret, so you better keep it to yourselves. I hear they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Very interesting. I'm sure it was, you know, it was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Kurita. I'll let you in on another little secret, youngin'. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious puffy-haired photographer girl. The nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too. Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change. I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet it's nothing good. But I didn't say anything. So you want to know more about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh? I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? What are you talking about? You don't know? That manager the woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impacts. Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know. But married? You mean... to Mr. Kurita? Really. You young kids don't know anything today, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. 3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the... Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly canceled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. I see. That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager Celeste killed herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. I guess I got nothing else to show for it at the moment, which is fine. Okay, let's move on. Bye, old bag. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. It looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Okay, I guess we can talk to... We gotta talk to one of them. Or both of them. Feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. On Guard's lawyer, right? Ah, yes, sir. Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. A decisive witness? You mean for the On Guard case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Well, who is this witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick? Between the kidnappers, the man, and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, He wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go. What? I've already called them so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. Such good news, Mr. Nick. Go talk to your heart's content. Sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Here we go. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mr. Enguarde and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? We'll start with our boy. Dude, it's Mr. Wright. Hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Hey Chris, what's up? How you doing? You just watched the Nintendo Direct. Have you watched it yet? Did you see anything you like? Feel free to share. Or anything that you're excited for. Other than that, how are you today? Edward disrupted the bombshell on me by saying, being chilling, nice, nice, that Juan Carrito was killed by an assassin, and that the assassin's client is myself. Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, just excited for a few things we saw at the Direct today. I'm also much looking forward to next week's Switch 2 Direct, so that's gonna be some fun times, no doubt. Other than that, I feel a little bit tired from just the work week in general, but you know, I'm here to play some games. I want to get this game done and wrapped up so we can move on to the third game in the trilogy as well. Get my next platinum, you know, on that trophy grind. Not live, unfortunately, because I do work during that time. Or actually, what time is that presentation at? Hold on. I am working that day. Yeah, 6 a.m. Pacific. That is, well, I don't work till later. Should I just do a super early stream of this? I probably could. I don't know how long it's gonna be though. Did they say how long this presentation is gonna be? And I hear apparently Best Buy is like taking pre-orders for this right at the day of the presentation. About an hour in length. No, that's speculation. I'd say I don't know how long this is. But I could try and do a live. Well, we'll see. 6 a.m. Stream at work. I do work from home, but we'll see how it goes. Now I'm thinking about maybe doing a live one. That's super early though. Well, yeah, again, 6 a.m. Pacific, that's where I am. So we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, I will behave like a good boy and avoid spoilers, and we'll stream my reactions in the presentation in the afternoon/evening during my usual stream hours, right? So that's still gonna be the alternative. I feel like maybe if I do a morning stream on that, I probably will not do an afternoon stream just so I, you know, because I'll be getting up a little earlier than usual, and I probably want the rest of the day to just chill and do nothing after work, right? We'll see. I'll maybe figure out a plan the closer we approach the you know, the good old day there. This man, Mr. Enguarde. What's wrong? Mr. Enguarde? There's something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kind of different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. I'm about the press conference. You mean the one where Juan was gonna dress up as the Nickel Samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret. Right. We did read over that flashback. Could you please fill me in on what this secret is, please? Oh, he's hiding. 5 locks. That is a big secret. Okay, I knew this was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Cyclops. You said a secret, right? I don't have any idea what that is. Do you, dude? Do you know about Mr. Carrito and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Carrito. Her mentor was Mr. Carrito's manager. And Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him. Celeste. Does that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat. Mr. Nick, what's a pizza? Is it kind of pea-like green peas? Let's go eat one later, okay? I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? Yep. He's glazing over it. Mr. Nagard, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? Well, we don't have any info to go on. Let's, Oh, Mr. Wright. Please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. Mr. Powers. What happened? Why are you here? You see, I got roped into this somehow. He's a witness, isn't he? What? And now I'm going to testify tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers. I was talking with a detective until a little while ago, and I was on my way home. When all of a sudden, you're under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? So about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet, but it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Oh, well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, especially not that lawyer, he said. Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick. Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright. Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been a kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to satisfy himself. What? How horrible. That's unforgivable. Ow, sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know? Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic? Gossip? You see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image. But aren't you part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh, hey. So did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? You mean Miss Impact's? You heard something about how her wedding was cancelled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up with his skin is practically glowing with energy. Hey, so have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. And they say that Juan went and hid it. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is. Something bad for Mr. Kurita? Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends, and she said, it looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man. Insidious man. A truly insidious man. Did she mean Mr. Kurita by that? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info. Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Nagard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. Yep. Sure, I have to get to the... Okay, so let's go talk to... We talked to Adrian now, I think? Alright, Adrian, what you got for me? Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was mad. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Kurita had on Mr. On Guard. Is she willing to talk, though, is the question. I'd like to ask you about Man on Guard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? Why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. About Miss Celeste's impacts. I'd finally put her death behind me, and now thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back, and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want to spread it just like another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent toward Juan. I would never do something so stupid. The note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard? That's simple. Because he's the killer. That's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? But there had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews. Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason. So please, tell me why you did what you did. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now? Okay, so we need info for her as well then. Psych-lock, huh? Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say, revenge. Mr. Nick, your phone. Hey, that's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble now, pal. I'll be back at the office really soon. What's wrong? Something really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth? Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's no good, Hello? You got cut off. Oh, what's going on, Mr. Nick? Don't you say we need to go back to the office right away. Then we should hurry back. I'm scared to go back. What are you talking about, Mr. Nick? Pull yourself together. Maybe it'll be good news. Somehow, I doubt that. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick it around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought that spy camera. Eh? This quickly? And this bear is what gave them away, pal. The bear. I figured it out, pal. I figured out we should have been looking into the bear instead of the cat. Well, Edgeworth did tell us that earlier. But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth that figured? Shh, pearls. And go on. And there's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Man on guard. Huh? Man on guard. Your client. Natsu, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $380. Wow, that's an expensive bear. That's an exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not just the receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me, I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. On Guard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. On Guard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. On Guard himself. My eyesight's failing me. This can't be. So what about the spy camera we found? That was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you for you to file into evidence. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Corrida's room was Man on Guard. Why? Why would Mr. On Guard do something like this? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Corrida in one of their rendezvous. I bet it's not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. On Guard, I mean? Yes. I'm scared, Nick. I wonder what we will find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for pearls. Man on guard, what in the world have you done? The fuck you do? Okay. I guess it's all conversations then, okay. I mean, we can't really go back to the hotel. There's nothing else to go off. I guess we go straight to... I mean... We're working really late, you know? It's already past 10 p.m., dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax, don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Alright, share me your secrets, Mr. Five Lock. Matt's secret. Now, let's hear what the secret of yours is. What if Mr. Krita had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude. I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on. I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Krita, especially on that night. I guess we can present the camera then. Someone used his camera to secretly film Mr. Krita's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow. But dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? Spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. I guess Juan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Krita was... You, my dude. Mr. On Guard? Don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I ever met this Mr. Bear before, dude. Ah, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard. If I didn't know how you worked in the court, I'd think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke. Right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? Here's proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. The receipt. I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It was from when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all I can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to the department store all the time, okay? This $3,800. This could be the toothbrush I bought that one time. A $3,800 toothbrush? It's ivory, and it's got elephant hair for bristle. Ew. Elephant hair? Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph. Did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yes? You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is, of course it will be strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Krita's room and filled it in secret is... Right, I mean, at this point it's implied that he hired to kill her. What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelly the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer. That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? We don't know him. Then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Wow, half my health bar? Mr. Matt on guard. I know why you know Mr. the Killer, because you're his client. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So how? How could you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelly the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Carrito. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt on guard. And here I was trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought that if you didn't know, you would be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought. Anyway, Mr. On guard, you really did hire. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? Consult himself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. The real Matt on guard. Oh god, I forgot how he looked. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. Where'd he pull out the brandy glass from, too? The heck? Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. So you really are Shelly the Killer's client. You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? Well, what do you mean? And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself, trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. All I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on, and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. But why? Why did you hide the video camera in? A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone. Least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me? How much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why? Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. And with that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. That's right. That video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl? Why? Why would you kill Mr. Carrito? Because he was about to sling so much dung into my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? Mr. Carrito had been able to give it, then Mr. Engarde's secret would have. Well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit, it crept up on me. And when the situation just presented itself perfectly, how beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Carrito ended up dead. Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face, and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it. The assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone, all working their butts off for me, Matt on guard. Aw, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Carrito, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey, now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that the killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking the catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Carrito. Aha, I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Aw, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't you? That would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. And Mystic Maya. You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So are you, Mr. Wright, Esquire? I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliched phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how well things turned out on him for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Like, did this guard not like hear everything that was going on? Actually, my camera. Well, I guess you can kind of see him. Let me just scooch over a little bit here. Like, you'd think he'd hear everything. This guy here. We'll keep him relevant. Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you finally found it. You heard everything? The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. Well, Wright, what are you going to do? You plan on changing your strategy. And no, you can't do that. That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. Well, what should I do? That's not something I can answer for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. That is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I thought that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, Wright, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. Man on guard? That man is really... arg. It doesn't matter who. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? What exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Is that exactly how you fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I believed my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard an acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. Sorry, one sec. Alright, sorry about that. I think I got something stuck in my eye. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who are suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right, would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? That's... You're a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. People like you and Francisco von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict, for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Francisca. She fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is a perfect win record. That's all. And, isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You are so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. What do you... Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then, why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of the story. Mr. Nick, the transceiver. I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My. What is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Enguarde's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and it is part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty? You were unlucky this time. My client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however. You did, but my name is the Killer. Shelly the Killer. You're Shelly the Killer. Please keep in mind, you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, but Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap. Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace the signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Mystic Maya. I don't know what to say. Edgeworth, Did you hear that? At the end of that transmission? Huh? Oh, that. It sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be that cat. Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelly the Killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all the police units head for Enguarde Mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Let's go. How do I at the hotel? Then to the mansion. Maya! Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape, assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. He and Enguarde were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Get the bear. There's a small door at the bottom. There's a bigger door, Nick. Mr. Nick, I bet it's for the cat to use. Oh, you mean shoe. Oh, okay, well. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. A bear? Isn't that more of a thing from Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. Ah, I'm sure that's for a shoe. Do you think that this came through that little door? This door. It's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking down doors by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. Ah, there's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is Mr. Enguarde's private lounge. Look at this, Wright. An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be a very important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. It looks like someone took the tape we were looking for and escaped with it. Oh, right. We searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. Looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now, we lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. Check the photo. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste. Miss Impax? You mean... Yes. Mr. Kurita's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here in Mr. Ungard's mansion? And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. Ah. What's wrong, Pearls? But please let me see that picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get Ungard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess talk to you guys later. That's... No. Mystic Maya. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrew's Cyclock. If I could just find out which secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow to blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your Cyclock. Excuse me? What are you talking about? I want to know, and you will tell me. Your secret. Fine. Go ahead. Try to break me, if you can. Alright. Why frame him? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Ungard for the murder? I've already told you countless times it's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. Ungard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you're saying I was taking my revenge out of Matt? And that's why? Oh, excuse me. What an absurd idea. I don't think I have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. Ew, my bad, I'm sorry. Sorry to offend your ears. There is something or someone in her past that will make her take revenge. Celeste. Should you order McDonald's? Yes. I kind of feel like ordering McDonald's now that you asked that question. Should I order McDonald's? Did you get enough sleep today since you started late? There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings and even revenge. Sorta. But not really. And that is Miss Impax's suicide. Can't wait for the weekend. Same here. One more day. Hang in there. One more day and you're free. Free to monster hunt and whatever else you want to do. Well, what are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hit her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right. You haven't mentioned him. Yet. But for you to hate Mr. Ungard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Free to Pal World? Dude, you totally could. You have the computer for it now, too. I want to give that game a try, too. I haven't bought it or touched it myself, either. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is in Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this in Mr. Ungard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. I would think so. I mean, they're doing like they're having a little legal tangle with Nintendo, but I'm pretty sure they're still doing stuff. They have plans to release it on like consoles, I believe. Well, specifically PS5, if it's not already out there. Okay, it's already out on PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Really? Xbox One, but not PS4? Is that correct? Interesting. So it's already out on consoles then. Yeah, I don't pay attention to this game at all. McDonald's breakfast tomorrow morning. That sounds like a good plan. Also a good alternative if you're craving McDonald's. Hold out until the next day. Celeste. She was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Kurita didn't want to get married to her anymore. Right? Yes. Because of Matt. Because of Mr. On Guard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste. She was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. Aw, look at that. Look at that. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why, with love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used. Toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. That scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see. So that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Kurita have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Or miss impacts. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds. And, so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. Why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it, because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night, when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another, after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note, and that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring to them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters, so when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for taking your time and talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either. Not with my situation or what I know now. Alright, trial time. Let's go. We're nearing the end here. Let's all go to the courtroom. Let's all go to the courtroom. Let's all go to the courtroom. Oh, he dreaming. Oh wow, what call back to the beginning of the game. How did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. What if it just loops to the beginning of the game and we somehow lost our save file? I'm just a civil defense attorney. Silence. You are no longer worthy of your title. What is happening? He dreaming, don't worry. It ain't real. He's having nightmares. I've had this dream before. Someplace, some time ago. Yeah, literally case number 1, Phoenix, come on. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. I mean, isn't all sunshines and daisies, Phoenix? You don't always get lucky with your... I feel like, you know, considering his track record, he's got, like, he was extremely lucky. I mean, you know, writing aside and, you know, taking that out of context, like, just isolating, like, the series so far as it has been. Like, Phoenix has been incredibly lucky with, like, the cases he's taken on and his clients and how everything just works out to be the truth. First time in his life where things aren't going his way. You don't have that main character plot armor. Hello, this is Phoenix, Wright? You don't look so well, dude. You don't look so well, dude. Oh, you're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? Ha ha ha. If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me, your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Phoenix. Mia. Maya. How's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But, can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. Yeah, it's that accursed on guard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. No, not Gumshoe. Gumshoe, I'm really sorry. Where are you? Let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe, until the trial's over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can and find the killer. We can get Maya out, and you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? You got Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got. You two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder. That is to say, is truly connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please... Inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing the Nickel Samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. You're saying that she's guilty after all. I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I'd like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Carita was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client so to speak, is Matt On Guard. Well, what a surprising turn of events. Tisk, 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 finger wag. I would think that's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. What is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way. Yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Well, because I'm just a kind of nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. On Guard's room. Okay, sure. After the awards ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his Nickel Samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I'd guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal, unless the bellboy is the killer. Yeah, here we go. If one assumes that the person Mr. On Guard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, well, what are you implying? Tisk tisk. Well, Mr. Wright, let's have you cross-examined, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? Okay. Matt was standing. Okay. He was talking to someone at first. I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while. At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. I guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. So I guess we gotta press another statement first before going back to that one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? That's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. Oh yeah, Maya was too hype. Maybe press this again now? At first, what do you mean, right? Why is that? Why did I think that? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, we gave him the tip. Okay. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Okay, this is a new statement. So you gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was. That's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Miss Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. How about the face? We got stitches, we know. Well, again, no, we know what he looks like, but they don't know who the killer looks like. What's so shocking about the bellboy's face, Mr. Powers? Well, he was a boy, more like an old gramps. I hope you know that discrimination towards old men is a no-no in my court. And no, that's not what I meant at all. In the smack middle of the guy, there was a line of stitches. A line of stitches? Yeah, and it went straight from the tippy top of his head to the bottom of his chin. Almost like as if that thread snapped, all the stuff in his head would come spilling out. Ah, he was there, at Enguarde's house. He was that butler. What is it, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. So that means that Enguarde was talking with the killer then. If that fact were to be exposed, Enguarde would be declared guilty in a blink. Phoenix, you have to play dumb here, pretend you don't know anything. Hey, yes, Chief. You sure you don't have anything you'd like to say, Mr. Wright? Huh? What did you just say, Your Honor? Nothing, Mr. Wright? Nothing. We're just going around and around circles. Now then, Mr. Powers, please continue with your testimony. Okay, so we can ask about the amount of the tip, I guess? Defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court about how much you would say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? How interesting. I mean, what if they're all dollar bills, though? That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, why don't Wyatt stand around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So supposing that roll of cash is not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Juan Corrida. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Oh, hold your horses now. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is a person the police's special investigation team has been chasing for ages. I'm certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? Well, what's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured that something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir, right away. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when the bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so you have to be the assassin. I'm sure of it. I mean what? You didn't... Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still... Oh, I see. He cut him off. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer. Then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. So give me 1 second here. I was checking something. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. Ha 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 ha. There's no laughing matter. Okay. I need to press about going to the bathroom. That's when the bellboy saw came out. Okay. Saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room. Now I think about it, it seemed kind of out of place. Anyway, out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You call that a little strange, too, wouldn't you? I agree, I agree that is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or try to pull a fast one? There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Grr, Edgeworth. Are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well, this court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. We could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed. Some sort of proof, then. I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. Okay, I think I know what we can, well, we can say he's empty-handed because he left the juice there, perhaps? I mean, this isn't exact. I mean, well, this just came from the tomato juice that was there, perhaps, but again, I think the idea is to stall for time here. Mr. Powers. Yeah, yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches, and... So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying that all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also, I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. there is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kurita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you look at what's on the top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that there's a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. Bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kurita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that means that the bellboy had seen a dead body and left the room. But can you prove that Mr. Kurita was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say empty-handed? I recall he had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. What does make the bellboy look really suspicious? Alright, gotta focus, I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying that all football letters are suspicious because they're made of leather? All footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. Seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. After leaving Kwan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door. Just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left, without even going to the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kinda all saw that by accident. Some accident, I say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Their second meeting. Knocked on this door. Okay, what did he give him? What did he give him? I said hold it. Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. He really is like stalling for time with the theatrics. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? You're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Unguard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Ungard himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing. What was the thing, though? He gave something to this person. Yep. And what was this something? Ha ha ha. If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it something, would I? Well, this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kinda small. I'd like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all he could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was that bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... no. Remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I I could say for sure, but I think it was some kind of wooden statue. Oh, wait a minute. The thing that we found, right? Is it this? What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, there's something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey. That's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt Unguard's mansion. At the defendant's house? Well, what does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room, and then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Unguard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Ungard is the killer's client. Order, order, order. I said order. Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. But how did the bear get to the mansion? We'll find out. Well, I mean, I guess it's implied, right? Well, no, Matt never left at all. Well, we're gonna find out, won't we? I think I know where... I think they're gonna answer that question. At least Phoenix will try to answer it. But let's see where the story leads us. I think it is clear that there's no need for us to continue this trial. Also, how are you, Duck Game? Hope you're doing well. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright. There are still a few points left that we have not totally fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Probably the bear itself. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. Unguard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It's not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took the bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Ooh, disaster averted it look. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember that you muttered to yourself at Ungard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. Can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. The killer and Ungard were working together, so to speak. The killer was hiding at Ungard's mansion as its butler. Well, what a bold move. Bear figurine was brought back to Ungard mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Ungard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I have to try. I have to try something else. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to? I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Power's testimony. What? There's still another one? There is indeed, Your Honor. And it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Well, I guess the person who received the bear is the next point, right? There was one thing in Mr. Power's testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but yeah, okay, so saw the arm. Ah. Huh? Hmm? Huh? Hmm? Well, what is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But the arm, it was the Nickel Samurai's arm. I swear it. You gotta be kidding. Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Yeah, trophies need to worry about? No, right? Just the ending. Okay. Order. It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was a Nickel Samurai, and as you all know, Matt Ungard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we made that all the clear. I think we've heard enough. We know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in this room. Everything has become clear. The client, who hired the assassin to commit the murder, was Mr. Matt Ungard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Oh, but Adrian had to say it. I think he's gonna bring it up here.
Objection!
There is only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I've left is this one dirty trick. Yep. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at the Ungard mansion. However, it's possible that this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, it's possible that a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Tisk tisk, is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client and therefore the real murderer? Sorry, Adrian. Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt Ungard for the crime by wearing a spare Nickel Samurai costume. Ah. Then, the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Ungard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Ungard's mansion, it was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic, besides which there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Ungard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order, order, order. All disrupted parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered. Why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did especially bring that bear to Ungard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. Who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Andrews herself. I see. Well, then the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Haha. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage, don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation, you tried to pin the guilt onto Adrian. I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick. Pearls. Where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. A really strong power. Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. Ooh, that's good, pal. What about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. We just had one. Even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I gotta keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope for naught? A tent. Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent. Mia. It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now, but I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe. Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The very big circus. Maya's somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. Oh, what? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map, about a 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry. And? I could see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. I felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Maya Pearl tag team the Spirit Relay. Yep. Spirit Info Relay. Mia's so smart. Even in death, she knows what she's doing. Well, Maya's smart too, considering her circumstance. Like quick thinker, that one. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Hello, Zero Suit Samus, I'm Yoon again. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now that you have... Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Why? Why does she... Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes, looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something to that bear after all. A puzzle. That's right. It looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? You're gonna have to press on every statement? Let's see here. guess we'd have to. This may be the kind of thing we need to get this information on and proceed with the dialogue. So you can take it apart. And how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and push it in. Oh yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Ooh, this is most interesting. A boy and his new toy. That's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are that many people with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same once it's been broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. Angard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Well, Mr. Wright? I think even you have come to realize, that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness? Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. Click. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's a suicide note. Suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Carita's former manager, Celeste Impacts. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But just as we suspected, it was hidden by the victim, Juan Carita himself. It seems Celeste Impacts had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order. Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note may be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clearly through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impacts left to us a record of all that had happened to her, about being used and being thrown away by Angard, about being engaged to Carita and Angard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided in her despair to end it all. And that's all Miss Impacts had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. Handwriting check? I mean, it's possible. We'll find out. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Ungard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word. Matt Ungard values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. It's Ungard's fault that woman killed herself. And this time, he even went as far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. How terrible. What a selfish person. I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There is no room for doubt here. Mr. De Killer's client's goal was to obtain the suicide note, and the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. Ugh, how am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry. Suicide note or the figurine? Which of these should I pursue? The note. The legitimacy of the handwriting, if it's possible? Please wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Matt Ungard killed in order to obtain this note. Yes, that is correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Kurita until the night of the murder. If that's the case, I say that Matt Ungard could not have known what was written on this note. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. Okay, he's going this route. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. We gotta stall. Order, order, order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well in this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. Ah, the camera. What is that? It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt Ungard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, Juan Kurita, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Ungard. Order, order. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. You. Don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you're confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not that same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt Ungard's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Ungard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shush, stop. Don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so, ew, nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next? Or what am I going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate. I really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Yeah, I think that's where the note comes into play. Alright, I think it's time we finally understand everything. I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia's talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting us go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So, you're telling me that I forgot something. You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Is there any question of the legitimacy of the note? Is it real? That is Miss Impact's suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, the suicide note was found inside the bear, but this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means... the handwriting on the suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh. So? As to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impacts or not, that has yet to be remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be Mr. Wright. Are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ungard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you? Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. No, more of her glasses again. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on guard. I did no such thing. Right. If you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defense stated, the handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible. This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial for one more day. I don't think Maya will be physically able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting analysis is my butt. That's just the lawyer trying to buy more time. And guard is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty. 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 Whoa, what does that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello? Gumshoe? Oh, what's with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. Just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have time anymore. Guilty. Guilty. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh. What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Oh, hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch! Mr. Edgeworth? Please, you gotta buy us more time. Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying, Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time, I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Well, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if you adjourn for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised I will not allow another recess today. I'm not so sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. See you in 30. Right, well, what's going on with my situation? The killer. Looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? You can't find her in that time. Court. Ah, is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time. Just spit it out. Right. Looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? Oh ho ho, I thought you asked, pal. I got the things he left with me right now and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. Hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. My hunk of junk car, I'll say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Alright, just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. Items left by the murderer. Huh. Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Nope. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me. No one can stop me. Oh, he dead. Oh, the anime drama continues. What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? Gotta hurry and call for help. We have no idea where he is. The cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No, we can't let that happen. Well, if there was a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at the moment? There is a way. That's right, there is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Bring in your girl. This is why you need a hands-free device while calling. 100%. This is the reason why they started enforcing law on, having cell phones while driving. Why are you bringing Francisca at a time like, oh, I see. I'll try and get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Francisca. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth? What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm putting the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears, whether you did your job well or not. That can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict? Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, Bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. Alright. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impax herself. It is a fake. Order, 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 Mr. Edgeworth. Would you care to explain what's going on? If this was not written by Miss Impax, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Carita. Mr. Carita? Well. It looks like Miss Impax never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that, and so that facts remain unchanged. Untrue. Acting on this assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that On Guard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's possible for Mr. On Guard to not have known that it was a fake. Camera. What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Spy, yep. These guys are playing spy games. Oh, that's right, a camera. Ah, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. On Guard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't that right? If that were true, then this means Mr. On Guard would have known the victim had forged the note. Ah. So then the defendant knew the suicide note was not a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. Prosecution's theory as to what Mr. On Guard's motive for murder was, it has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. On Guard monitored Mr. Carita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. On Guard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Order, 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 Mr. Edgeworth. It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured. It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? The prosecution can't prove Mr. On Guard's motive through the evidence. They must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there, Your Honor. The prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering. This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all, the question of who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder? That's impossible. No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? Yes, go on. Who is it? The man himself. Mr. Shelley the killer. Oh, Mr. the killer. Well, wait. Shelley the killer? You mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here? To the witness stand? Well, yes. In a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. Defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then. The prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin. I say. What is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now. And it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got was earlier about. Couldn't they just trace the call while this is happening, though? Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya, a voice. Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer. Also, we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness, there's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Carita. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Carita. Gulp. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Shelley's pride is on trust. He did mention that a lot of times. He's all about trusting his client. The honorable sort, if you will. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. It's all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What's he going to say? There's something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. There he goes, saying it again. And that is the reason I'm here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I almost say he seems to be mocking us. So we traced a call after Edgeworth. He said he wouldn't... Yeah, I mean, definitely. Edgeworth is one who said he has his word. Or I guess any member of the police, really. Go after anybody. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Okay. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. That is why you're testifying in this manner. This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yes, that person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough. Please, no more. Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role. This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. You. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. Oh yeah, press for more information, okay. Okay, he said something about trust here. That he broke his trust, so I guess we can press the statement again. The trust between you and your client. Yep, okay. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience, who would have figured. Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. You can't, I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. And that is the reason I'm here today on this witness stand. Now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client. Don't you agree? What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Juan Carita? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews. Oh, the twist. What? What? Witness. That's not who you told me it was. That's not who you told me it was earlier. No, we're almost done though. We're at the end here. Also, what's up? How you doing? Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. Oh, what's going on here? My guess is that Mr. Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. So much about trust. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Man on guard, perhaps? You alright? Long day for you today? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness. You Shelley DeKiller. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is met on guard. Am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. Prosecution has failed to provide a motive, and it has instead provided the suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt on guard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you reach the verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? But the way this is going, on guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. On guard. My client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now. It was all one big lie. Miss Andrews. The suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now. You have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. DeKiller himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button donning the nickel samurai costume? But that's, you even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste's impacts was a large part of your life. Save? I probably should save pretty soon. You want to follow her, and you want revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No, Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? I guess we can save it here just as a precaution. There's still a trophy that relates to the ending that we need to get here. Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept the not guilty. You're a lawyer. I know. But man on guard is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than on guard. Even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it's because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that you be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But, that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through the witness's lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at, and I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please reestablish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor. We're back from ad jail. Welcome back. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done here. What is he talking about? Usually done. But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? Excuse me. As I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the beginning that Juan Carita was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is the most unexpected turn of events. For the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. You scrutinize the testimony then. And then I'll expose the lies in that so beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes 2 of us. Time of the crime, did to frame, while pretending to be the first person. Adrian knew from the beginning that Juan was dead. No, she stated otherwise, right? Never putting her testimony against his. What do I have that I can... Creation of planting knife and button. That act I was referring to. From the very beginning? That is correct. From before my client visited the room. All my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Right. Because she left... Here's the thing. She left fingerprints on that juice that she poured. So... Okay. Okay. I think we got it. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. The Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Carita had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass with her prints on it, yeah. Mr. The Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice is poured for the victim, and leaving her prints all over it and all that. Isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planted, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such minor detail? The last cases are usually long, because it's the last case, right? Until we get into the 3DS trilogy, I remember those being a bit long too. I'm afraid you are mistaken. Agent Andrews really is your client, as you claim, and your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Carita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews is never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Ah, sorry. My bad. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. Prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. Kinda cool seeing Phoenix and Edgeworth working together somewhat. I mean, they did tease that a bit too in case 5, right? Of the first game, I don't know if you remember. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I've made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Time, sure. It was a request for my services, right? Met at a bar. Okay, what are the matters that you finalized? So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was with the brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between the client and myself above all else, and the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? I'll slap it in. Let's see what gets put in. If Mr. The Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it is just as I said. Ugh. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue? Okay. We need more info. So your client was Adrian Andrews. That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met. If they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Okay, we need more. I need more info. One week ago, are you sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. Specific date and time. Right, that was the award ceremony. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. As for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Carita's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. You must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference, after all. That is correct. If I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright? Let's see. And that is... The client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Right. So... I gotta press this again? Physically meeting. Press further. Right, right. And then, very important. Oh wait, no, I can put maybe not important. I gotta figure out the kid. Well, nothing I can work with yet, for sure. But then if, hold on a second here. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face-to-face that I began to trust him. Oh, there you go. Trust him. He said it. That's when I thought I can trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face-to-face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Throw it in. Slap it in. And I think I got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. From the moment I saw him, yeah, there it is. Okay. Now I meant to present. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna skip this dialogue since we don't need it. Assume the gender, yep. I'd like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time? Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the killer? You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you just say just now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Oh, the radio broke. Guess we lost connection with him. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following: that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their request. He has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think that's the whole point behind this. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender, and so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. But what is going on? Shelley the Killer, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does this mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I knew he was just going to spit up more lies. We need to buy time. It's okay if he keeps going. Very well, but at this time, please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Carita and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. Spell his name out for me, please. So you took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Right, we're nearing the end. I think. Okay, let's think. Took by mail, sure. There have been times when I took a job with that. Okay. Okay, what are the small things? 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Now we must know. Whether or not they are related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Everything I've said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? I smell the stench of a backstabber, and should you turn out to be one... Wait. Oh, this is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Just in case. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine? The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Carita's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. One of these was to find the bear figurine and give it to Adrian Andrews. I found this figurine at Mr. Ungard's mansion. If he gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. On Guard, I'm sure. That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? The Creed Andrews down, open it. I mean, we have to. Let's go for it for now. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews, but I know somewhere in that statement there's a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, he will cut the connection on his end. When you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So now what, Dr. Wright? I mean, if she knew how to open it, she would have gotten the note by now, but the note was still inside is what I'm thinking. Yeah, basically what you said. Let's present the note. You gave Miss Andrews a bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at On Guard Mansion. Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly. Alright, have a good night, Louie. I know I said we'd play today, but I really want to wrap up this game so we can move on. We'll play tomorrow, or over the weekend sometime. This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it's possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Shelley the killer. If he had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item. I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it for her sake, yeah, the note. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Order, order, order. So that's where you two are going. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to assemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Oh! Order, order, order. Oh, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Hi. I'm sure I mentioned this before. I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, there's only one thing for me to do. But wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No, please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... The prosecution. What has come over everyone? Even you are. Prosecution. Rests. What is going on around here? Prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought that I'd see the day. This is the most unusual situation. The prosecution rests with no further questions. Then, the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that's the case, then, even though I'm reluctant, I must believe that Mr. the Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley the Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt on Guard, will be declared innocent. And in this case, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Man on Guard, to the stand. The items from the killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Yeah, if I recall, this is where we need to save for sure. I want to get both trophies. Well, let's wait. I think that we can push it a bit more here. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Ah. He reveals himself here? Yup. Okay. So, I guess even the old buddy-duddy figured me out. The Mr. On Guard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving up his own client like this. And that refreshing, like a spring breeze crap is just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? We'll save her just in case. I know we can save further down just to avoid any additional, repeat conversations, but I'll set that aside for now. Better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as a murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. The person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews. Your client, Matt On Guard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt On Guard, is... Well, you can't save here. I mean, if I recall correctly... Does Phoenix follow... It's either Maya or Edgeworth. Who does he choose? Does he choose Maya or Edgeworth? No, we gotta save Maya. Save Maya. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt On Guard, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt On Guard is...
Objection!
Look who finally showed up. Francisco von Karma. Well, what are you doing here? Ow. You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way, well, except for your win record. The evidence isn't here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All the items inside are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for his ugliness, but there's nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial, all for what's inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I didn't believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence, down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth, and I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will be not accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left behind by the killer during his escape from the police. Must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around. Like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. See, this bit I remember clearly. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Let's hear some details. Does this pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case, at least with me. That's the pistol that you used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. I kept the bullet they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. So that's the pistol that was used to shoot Francisco. It's probably not going to help us very much. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from On Guard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. That's most likely the tape with of the killings, right? Oh yeah. I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. Contents unknown. The last piece of evidence is his bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There's one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? There is a button missing on this uniform. A button. It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And? What is that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Show the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think we can save here. I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first... Make On Guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If On Guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way... Force the killer to end his contract with On Guard. If the killer were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he will let Maya go. Yeah, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already seen the already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean, to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We've all seen the pieces of evidence. That is how we have come to know the truth. But there's one person who has yet to see them all, and that person does not know the truth. That truth may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then, you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. Oh, one chance? Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try. One try. That is all I will permit. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix. Think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking on guard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? Okay, so for now, we're going for, at this point, this is where I believe the bad ending, you can choose between the bad ending and good ending. If you get the wrong, if you pick the wrong things, you get the bad ending, which we will do for the trophy. I'd like to present Juice. I see, and now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you'd like to show to this person. Oh wait, no, I screwed up, whatever. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't have anything to say to this. How about you, Miss Von Karma? Well, I was just shot, so... I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you're talking about anymore. But wait, please, one more chance. That is enough, Mr. Wright. I now state my verdict. Yeah, I picked the opposite ends, it's fine. It's still the bad ending anyway. This court finds the defendant man on guard not guilty. Hooray, we did it, we beat the game. That is all. This court is adjourned. And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Hold on. I feel like... if I recall, the 3DS or the Game Boy Advance versions had like the... hold on. Yeah, okay. So... they definitely fixed it for like these re-releases here. But... basically, there was a typo in the original versions of this game. Something that stuck, but apparently it didn't. Okay, that's fine. Well, anyway, let's continue. Basically, it says it's supposed to be the miracle never happened with, like, you know, like without the past tense. Basically, that was like, and it became such a meme back then too. But they fixed it though. All right. So we gotta do this correct here. So it's the person first, and then the evidence. Who would you like to show evidence to? So, I mean, the only person that we should be showing it to is the killer. The man who hasn't seen everything. And we will show him the videotape, because he doesn't know he was being filmed. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there's some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. All right, looks like a match to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about the speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I'd seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client not to watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you were on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true? Mr. Wright. Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed the camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Wow. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright? Why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why the man on guard from the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film this crime scene. They want to blackmail on you. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. But that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one new thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. What if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright? Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item. Maya. I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I don't quite know what just happened there with the whip. Miss Von Karma. Where did that? She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Oh, you're looking nervous now. Look at that, man. Mr. Engard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this all right with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape from him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Man on guard. Even though I'm a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me? My wonderful self? Guilty? Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot out there outside the detention center, your life will be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore. No, guilty, guilty, guilty. Oh my god. Them scratchies on his face. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard? I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess he's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how shall I write? So... But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you use your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. GG Maya saved, yup. Good ending. I like to think that Capcom would like to make a game where the bad ending is a canon in an alternate universe, and then, you know, you continue the story from there. It looks like we've resolved everything at last. Like Phoenix becomes like a detective or something. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits, and that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. Got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision he had to make. Now then, Mr. Wright. Right. This whole thing. My client, man on guard, is... Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Never was protecting the people. Right. Edgeworth, I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Pearls, you're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Mystic Maya's safe. You did it. You really did it, Mr. Nick. Ow, she punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. Thanks. Oh. What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier. Thanks. Ow. Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? You lost. Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth. For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. I use every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remains spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened. So I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well as you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant, but every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses, the truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold in everything we have, erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. We will always eventually reach that one single truth. This I promise you. The truth. Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already. Didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me, this man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Ah. Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really broke my heart. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool. Miss Von Karma. I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. A Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Franziska threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Ah, isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right? Okay. Nick! Maya! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Reunited. Oh, Nick, I knew you'd come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. We sure pressed our luck this trial. You're lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm relieved you're alright. Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. That was quite the stomach pangs. Hunger pangs. Alright, I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick. Food. Grub. Chow. I'm starved. I'm so hungry even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth. Please. If you insist. Alright, so how about we head up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I decided, well, that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick. Food! Oh my god, he's got a bandage and everything. Hey pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? Then it wasn't red light that got him. You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was going to give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now look here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? You don't start being a lot nicer to him, you might just kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone gather around. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, detective. Huh? Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Well, you know, it's, Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Aw, come on, y'all. It's over. But hoo boy, I tell you, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? Being shut away for 2 whole days. Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know? I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. It sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. That's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I have the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't eaten anything yet. You've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just want to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough for you here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. The whip. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya? Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly, would you cut out already? You're embarrassing me. Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if we need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh? Ah, yeah. I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's a camera shop in this hotel, see? I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be it, anyhow, for $3,000. Huh? 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 Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick? Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Go on. It's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then. You say so. Alright. That is the end of game number 2. One more to go before we get our platinum. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, while the credits roll, I'm going to quickly cash all out. So this is stream number 4, right? So we'll do that. Update my counter. Another one in the books. One more and we can seal this trilogy away forever and ever. And I'm actually looking forward to the third game because it's definitely my favorite of the trilogy because of the cases in general and how the cases tie to like one big story. They feel more connected for sure, so we'll learn more about that when we jump into it. I guess we'll probably start it sometime next week, I suppose. For now, we're gonna divide our attention between some more Monster Hunter, and then I guess we'll continue. I gotta jump back and start replay or get back into the other games that we started, right? Let's see what's currently on like the on the list here, because I totally forgot what we were working on prior to Monster Hunter coming out. Oh yeah, super like really aggressive salute. I can see where everybody's going. Hope you stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. Oh, she's gonna be a waitress, she said? She's quitting the force. So as far as I can tell, we did get all the trophies related to this game. Let me just double check here. I updated my counter already, did I? I did. Okay, cool. Cool. So wait for this last trophy to pop. It's still fairly early, at least for me, so we can definitely continue on with some other stuff. Question is, I guess I could jump into some Monster Hunter probably. Or if I were to choose another game right now to play, I'm just going through my list right now to see what else we can do. Give me a moment here while I figure out what I want to do next. Because we're definitely not short of any games to play at the moment, right? So wait for these, hold on. Okay, so maybe we'll do some more Monster Hunter. I think I'm gonna be working on finishing up. Well, I guess the goal for me is to finish up all the what do you call it? The remaining pendants I want to craft before the update drops next week. It's next week, right? So new monsters, new armors to collect, and then event quests for new things. So next week, yeah. I pretty much did everything, but yeah, I might as well just try and just take the next step here, right? So I think, so we will continue on with more Monster Hunter streams leading up to the new content. The focus will be on getting the, what do you call it? Getting those pendants created. I think if we play tonight, I think we can finish it all. It's not a whole lot of, it's all just a bunch of low and high rank monsters that gotta fight randomly here and there. Upgrading them will be a different story though. But maybe I'll try and do that as well. I mean, I figured why not, right? Alright, here we go. Last little bit of story for y'all for this game. Where are you going, Franziska? How did you know I was here? But this... That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy, drab coat. Why are you still carrying it with you? I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that. No, not Detective's coat. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up. You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you're a prosecutor. You have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. You prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be doing, what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked the hell on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth. I've always hated you. And then, finally my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat. And this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. It wasn't even about her dad. I guess they kind of grew up together, right? So that's like a whole thing, I suppose. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can, just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today, he chased after me, after I left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Karma. Aww. I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. So you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix Wright, one day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this fourth piece. What is it though? So I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Oh, so this is the picture that Maya drew. Cute. Wow, it's crazy how well it fits too. Alright. So that should be all of the Justice for All trophies. Let's confirm though, there should be a total of 9 that we just went through. You have the 5 episodes. And then you have like the 4, 1, 2. No, that's episode. That's here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did the ladders. There's only one ladder in game 2, so the rest of them are gonna be in game 3. And I'm pretty sure I was on top of everything, and then the bad ending. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. Got them all, baby. Okay, so that's it for Phoenix Wright Justice for All. Good story overall. I mean, again, Circus Case was definitely the weakest of them all, but hey, what can you do? Overall, still a pretty good game. Enjoyed it in general, and I'm already looking forward to game 3, where like the cases get really good and, you know, feel more unified because of the overall story, if I recall correctly. But we will do that another time. And as for this game here, I gave you guys your money. We updated the counter, so there's only one thing left to do. So we say thank you to Ace Attorney Justice for All for the good moments. And as we, you know, see this game off to the sunset, we say thank you for the cases, thank you for the ridiculousness, even thank you for the circus case. Seeing Justice for All off into the sunset, we all give the good old Lester salute. I'll get your 7s ready. Oh shoot. I gotta fix that actually, there you go. I think at some point I want to really use that Maggie Bird salute, like the one that's super violent and hits her head. I want to use that for some things with the stream here. I'll look into that later on. So I think I'll just jump into some. I think I'll just jump into some wilds today. Work through the remaining talismans we need to make, and then whatever else I feel like doing.